I've got a story to tell at the beginning, and I have a story to tell at the end. And the last one is audience participation, and there might be a drinking game involved in it. This is a little bit more straight up. So I wrote this last spring as part of a journal entry, and when Corin asked me to present at Storytellers, I thought this might be a good fit. I've kept a journal pretty consistently since I was 8, and I was having a really intense week or so in April 2019, and what I do when I'm overwhelmed is I start writing about something that has nothing to do with what I need to work on, and I started keeping kind of a little bit of a journal. This is not a typical day in the life of my life. This is an unusual week in my life, but it was a snapshot of a week in which I was preparing for oral argument before the Supreme Court of Georgia that was going to be held at school on my home turf. My kids each had a ton of sports ball games. The house was falling apart, and I had a lot going on at work. So I want to give a little bit of background. I know I've got a lot of law students and some lawyers in the room, but oral argument is a pretty polished presentation to an appellate court. You have to really prepare. It's stressful. Most lawyers just do oral arguments in appellate courts maybe just a handful of times in their career. I'm an appellate lawyer, and I teach appellate practice and post-convictions at the law school, and so I do this a lot. But what made it different was that it was going to happen at the law school, in front of my students, in front of my colleagues, and in front of my family. No one in my family had ever seen me argue in court at any time before. And my son was going to come, actually both of my sons were going to come. And I want to give a little bit of background. This case was a constitutional criminal law case. It was really an important case because it, to me, involved a question of actual innocence and a question of something that hadn't been presented to a jury, and I really felt like our client was innocent and needed another chance to get back into court. But of course it was important because some people that I really love were going to be there watching. So I had a team of students working with me, but the pressure was on me. I was the only one doing the oral argument, and so enough of the prelude, you guys get it, it was court. And so this is how to prepare for oral argument while womaning, and all this is true. Number 1. Reread all briefs and the entire case record, making notes and highlighting. Reread all laws cited. Realize that you might need the full 150-year-old history of the statute. Ask your team to track that down. As they're researching this, realize the milk in your refrigerator, it seems 150 years old also. Reread every case and make notes. Ask your team to create a chart of cases and facts so you can see each one at a glance. Make sure to ask very, very nicely. Slice your brief up for the first cut at an outline. Slicing up the brief reminds you that you need to slice up food your children need to eat. Cook dinner. Leave the dishes in the sink. Question absolutely everything, even your own name. Stay up too late. Wake up too early. Wonder if the dark circles under your eyes make you look too shrill. Consider buying under-eye concealer. Decide on a few key record items you'll need to memorize. Make breakfast for children while reciting these. Scowl when your children tell you this is not funny. You should smile more. Let at least 3 people down. Anticipate questions from the bench. Arrange mock arguments with friends who don't mind insulting you. Consider inviting arch rivals or teenage offspring. They'll definitely insult you. Feed pets, feed children, eat leftovers, deposit dishes in the sink. Moot the argument, send follow-up assignments to the team. Thank the team. Donuts are a good way to thank people. Consider bringing donuts and then forget. Consider your wardrobe. Pantsuit, skirt suit, dress. It should be flattering, but not too flattering. Comfortable, but not too comfortable. Shoes should help you see over the podium, but not tip you over onto the podium. And don't even get started on the ways you can mess up your hairstyle strategy. Reread everything. Hem your suit, and I am not making this up, while on a conference call, sitting in your car, watching your son play lacrosse. That actually happened. As you're sewing, notice that your nails haven't been done in months and wonder how demonstrative you're going to be in court with your hands. Resolve not to use your hands in court. Do all the other work and errands and at least one ridiculous extra thing that you committed to months ago. Simultaneously wish you were much, much taller and much, much smaller. Try to see things from the opposing counsel's perspective. Consider adopting this tactic when listening to your children and then rethink it. Hit them with the old because I said so. Check in with your client. Buy the best lipstick money can buy. And by the way, this is unquestionably Ruby Woo by MAC. Be serious, but not too serious. Be confident, but not too confident. Be yourself, but not too much of that either. Cover your justice tattoos. Reread everything. Eat 1 vegetable. Require your children to eat 2 vegetables. Consider yourself a health guru. Ponder the Dorothy Parker classic, justices make spectacles of girls who wear spectacles and decide to wear your contacts. Reread your notes from the team. Achieve Sonder on the notion that all team members are working with equal and full richness of the same experience of your own work. Whiten your teeth. Sharpen your fangs. Consider the optics of things. Hide them in your breast coat pocket. Reread everything. Decide you hate your suit. Wish that suits of armor were still a thing. Breathe. No, not sigh. Breathe. Reread everything. Boil your outline down to 1 word and the dancing woman emoji. Set 4 alarm clocks, or is that alarms clock? And that's how you prepare for oral argument while womaning. I'll say as a postscript, the oral argument went very well. Opposing counsel actually conceded in the middle of the oral argument, but we still found a way to lose. The Supreme Court overruled existing case law to rule against our client, who we believe was actually innocent. And as also a postscript, my older son was there and he was impressed with me. My younger son broke his arm during field day during the oral argument, and my parents took him to the emergency room. Didn't tell me until afterwards so that I wouldn't worry. And that is the story of how to make an oral argument while womaning. Thank you.